Hi, I'm Victoria Chen. For 28 years, my family called me the disappointment, while my sister Sarah was their golden child. At last Easter's family dinner, my mother introduced me to Sarah's colleagues as our other daughter, the one who never quite figured things out. What she didn't know was that one of those colleagues was my company's chief marketing officer, and she was about to ask why her CEO was being introduced as the family failure. That moment changed everything. But this story begins much earlier. In a household where success was measured by conformity, and I was always the one who colored outside the lines. Before we jump back in, tell us where you're tuning in from, and if this story touches you, make sure you're subscribed, because tomorrow, I've saved something extra special for you. Sarah, my younger sister by 3 years, embodied everything my parents had envisioned for their American-born children. From elementary school through her MBA program at Wharton, she consistently delivered the grades, awards, and achievements that validated their parenting philosophy. Her academic transcript read like a catalog of perfectionism, valedictorian of her high school class, summa cum laude graduate from Yale with a double major in economics and political science, and recipient of multiple academic scholarships that our parents proudly mentioned in every social conversation. Her professional trajectory followed the same pattern of conventional excellence. After completing her MBA, Sarah joined Goldman Sachs as an investment analyst, working 100-hour weeks in Manhattan while living in a carefully curated apartment on the Upper East Side. Her career progression was methodical and impressive. Analyst to associate to vice president, each promotion accompanied by salary increases that allowed her to purchase increasingly expensive symbols of success. She drove a BMW, wore designer clothing, and dated other finance professionals who met our parents' criteria for appropriate partners. The family dynamic positioned Sarah as the prototype for success, while casting me as the cautionary tale about what happened when children strayed from proven pathways. Every family gathering included detailed updates about Sarah's latest achievements, complete with salary figures, promotion timelines, and social connections that impressed our parents' friends. My mother maintained a meticulously organized photo album documenting Sarah's accomplishments, from kindergarten graduation through her latest corporate award ceremony. My own path had always been different, beginning with my refusal to conform to the academic and social expectations that had been established before my birth. While Sarah excelled in mathematics and science courses that led naturally toward business school, I gravitated toward creative writing, philosophy, and entrepreneurship classes that my parents viewed with suspicion and disappointment. My grades were excellent, but in subjects they considered impractical and unmarketable. During high school, while Sarah was accumulating academic honors and preparing for standardized tests, I was developing business plans for student organizations, organizing fundraising campaigns for local charities, and spending weekends learning about digital marketing through online courses that were not yet part of any formal curriculum. My parents attended my school events with polite interest but obvious confusion about why I was investing time in activities that would not appear on college applications in the traditional format they understood. The college selection process crystallized the fundamental differences in our approaches to life planning. Sarah chose Yale because it offered prestige, networking opportunities, and clear pathways to graduate school and corporate careers. I selected a small liberal arts college in Vermont that emphasized innovation, interdisciplinary learning, and entrepreneurial thinking but lacked the name recognition that would impress our parents' social circle. My mother's response to my college choice revealed the depth of her disappointment and concern about my future prospects. She spent weeks researching the school's rankings, attempting to understand how I could choose an institution that did not appear in the top tier of national universities. Her conversations with friends became exercises in damage control, explaining my decision in ways that minimized embarrassment while expressing hope that I would eventually transfer to a more prestigious institution. The financial aspects of our education created additional tension within family dynamics. Sarah's academic performance earned her partial scholarships, but my parents proudly contributed substantial amounts toward her Ivy League education, viewing the investment as essential for securing her future success. My scholarship covered most of my tuition costs, but my parents' financial contribution was accompanied by regular expressions of concern about the return on investment they were making in my education. During college, the divergence in our paths became even more pronounced. Sarah's academic and social achievements provided regular opportunities for my parents to share good news with their extended family and community. Her Dean's List performance, internship selections, and leadership positions in prestigious student organizations validated their confidence in traditional measures of success. My college experience followed a different trajectory that was equally intensive, but focused on areas my parents struggled to understand or value appropriately. I double majored in business administration and digital communications while simultaneously building a small marketing consultancy that served local businesses in the college town. The consultancy started as a work-study job, but evolved into a legitimate business that generated revenue and provided practical experience in client management, strategic planning, and digital marketing implementation. The entrepreneurial activities consumed most of my free time and provided education that was not available through traditional coursework. I learned about cash flow management, client relationship development, contract negotiation, and team leadership through practical application rather than theoretical study. The business grew steadily throughout my college years, eventually employing several classmates and serving clients throughout New England. My parents' reaction to the consultancy business reflected their fundamental discomfort with entrepreneurial approaches to career development. They worried that I was neglecting my studies in favor of activities that were uncertain and potentially distracting from more reliable career preparation. Their concerns were expressed through regular phone conversations that included detailed questions about my grades, reminders about the importance of maintaining academic excellence, and suggestions that I should focus on securing internships with established corporations rather than building my own business. The contrast between their support for Sarah's traditional achievements and their anxiety about my entrepreneurial activities created a persistent undercurrent of tension in family relationships. Every conversation included implicit comparisons between our different approaches to education and career development, with Sarah's conventional success serving as the standard against which my choices were measured and found wanting. Summer breaks provided opportunities for the differences in our paths to become even more apparent to extended family and family friends. Sarah's internships at prestigious financial institutions in New York and Boston generated impressive stories about networking events, mentor relationships, and exposure to high-level business operations. My summers were spent expanding the consultancy business, developing new service offerings, and building relationships with clients who were primarily small business owners rather than corporate executives. The social dynamics during family gatherings reflected these perceived differences in our success trajectories. Sarah's updates about her internship experiences, graduate school applications, and career planning received enthusiastic attention and detailed follow-up questions from relatives and family friends. My business activities were acknowledged politely, but with obvious uncertainty about how to respond appropriately to achievements that did not fit familiar categories of success. During my senior year of college, the consultancy had grown sufficiently to require a decision about its future direction. I could either maintain it as a part-time activity while pursuing traditional employment opportunities, or commit to expanding it into a full-time business venture after graduation. The decision represented a fundamental choice between conventional career development and entrepreneurial risk-taking. My parents strongly advocated for the traditional approach, encouraging me to interview with consulting firms and corporate marketing departments that would provide stable income, benefits, and clear advancement pathways. They offered to facilitate networking connections through their professional relationships and expressed willingness to support me financially during the job search process if necessary. However, the consultancy had reached a point where growth opportunities required full-time attention and additional investment. Several clients had expressed interest in expanding their relationships with us, and I had identified market opportunities that could support significant business expansion. The potential for building something substantial and innovative outweighed the security of traditional employment, despite the uncertainty and financial risk involved. The decision to decline traditional job opportunities in favor of entrepreneurship represented a defining moment in family relationships. My parents' disappointment was evident and deeply felt, though they attempted to express support while clearly hoping that I would reconsider after experiencing the challenges of business ownership. Their concerns were legitimate and thoughtfully expressed, but based on fundamental differences in risk tolerance and definitions of success that could not be easily reconciled. The post-graduation period established patterns that would persist for years. My parents maintaining polite interest in my business activities while expressing consistent hope that I would eventually pursue more conventional career opportunities. Family conversations included regular updates about job openings at their companies or among their professional contacts, accompanied by suggestions that I should consider transitioning from entrepreneurship to traditional employment. The business grew steadily during the first several years after graduation, but in ways that were difficult for my parents to understand or appreciate fully. Revenue increased, client relationships deepened, and the company's reputation within the digital marketing industry improved consistently. However, these achievements lacked the recognizable markers of success that would have been apparent in corporate employment: job titles, salary figures, and advancement timelines that could be easily communicated to family and friends. Preparing and narrating this story took us a lot of time, so if you are enjoying it, subscribe to our channel. It means a lot to us. Now, back to the story. Meanwhile, Sarah's career progression continued to provide regular validation of traditional approaches to professional development. Her promotion to vice president at Goldman Sachs, accompanied by substantial salary increases and expanded responsibilities, represented exactly the kind of success my parents had envisioned for both of their daughters. The achievement was celebrated extensively within the family and shared proudly with their social circle. The contrast between our professional situations became a source of ongoing concern and disappointment for my parents, who struggled to understand why I continued to choose uncertainty and entrepreneurial challenges over the stability and prestige that Sarah's career exemplified. Their love and support were never in question, but their confidence in my judgment and decision-making diminished as the years passed without obvious signs of conventional success. This foundation of family dynamics, contrasting definitions of success, and persistent misunderstanding about the nature and potential of entrepreneurial ventures created the context for the Easter gathering that would ultimately transform our family relationships and challenge long-held assumptions about achievement, recognition, and the various pathways to meaningful accomplishment. The stage was set for a revelation that would force everyone to reconsider their understanding of success, recognition, and the complex relationship between family expectations and individual achievement in an economy that increasingly rewards innovation and entrepreneurial thinking over traditional corporate advancement. The transition from college entrepreneur to serious business owner occurred during a pivotal meeting in January 2018, 6 months after graduation, when I realized that my parents' well-intentioned concerns about my career choices stemmed from their inability to comprehend the scale and potential of what I was building. The consultancy had evolved far beyond its humble origins as a work-study project, but communicating this transformation to family members who measured success through corporate hierarchies and recognizable job titles proved more challenging than any business obstacle I had encountered. The morning that changed my perspective on family dynamics began with a phone call from Rebecca Martinez, the CEO of a mid-sized manufacturing company in Hartford. Her voice carried the urgency of someone who had exhausted traditional solutions to a critical business problem. Her company was losing market share to competitors who had embraced digital marketing strategies, while her team remained committed to print advertising and trade show participation that no longer generated adequate customer engagement. Rebecca had discovered our consultancy through a referral from another client, and her research into our background had revealed a track record of helping traditional businesses transition successfully to digital marketing approaches. The scope of work she described during our initial conversation was substantially larger than any project we had previously undertaken, requiring strategic planning, team expansion, and financial investment that would either accelerate our growth significantly or strain our resources beyond capacity. The project involved developing and implementing a comprehensive digital transformation strategy for her company's marketing operations, including website redesign, search engine optimization, social media management, content marketing development, and customer relationship management system integration. The timeline was aggressive, the budget was substantial, and the success metrics were clearly defined in ways that would either establish our reputation as a serious marketing firm or expose our limitations as a small consultancy operating beyond our capabilities. My initial response was to accept the challenge immediately, recognizing the opportunity to demonstrate our firm's capacity for managing complex projects while building relationships with established business leaders who could provide references for similar future opportunities. However, the project requirements demanded resources and expertise that exceeded our current capabilities, necessitating strategic decisions about hiring, technology investment, and operational expansion that would fundamentally change the nature of our business. The team expansion process revealed how much I had learned about leadership and organizational development through practical experience rather than formal education. Recruiting qualified professionals required understanding not only their technical capabilities, but also their ability to work effectively within our company culture and maintain the client service standards that had built our reputation. The hiring process became an intensive education in human resources management, compensation, planning, and team building that prepared me for much larger organizational challenges ahead. Jennifer Walsh joined our team as senior digital strategist, bringing 10 years of experience from prestigious marketing agencies in Boston and New York. Her background included campaign development for Fortune 500 companies, and her decision to join our small firm was motivated by the opportunity to take on more diverse responsibilities while working directly with business owners rather than through multiple layers of corporate hierarchy. Her expertise elevated our service offerings while providing mentorship that accelerated my own professional development. Michael Torres, our new web development director, had previously worked for technology startups in Silicon Valley before deciding to relocate to the East Coast for family reasons. His technical skills enabled us to develop more sophisticated solutions for clients while building internal systems that improved our operational efficiency and scalability. His startup experience provided valuable perspective on rapid growth, management, and technology integration that proved essential for handling increased business volume. Sarah Kim, our content marketing manager, brought journalism background and creative writing expertise that enhanced our ability to develop compelling marketing materials and communication strategies. Her previous experience included freelance, work for major publications and content development for established brands, adding credibility to our service offerings while expanding our capabilities in areas that were becoming increasingly important for client success. The Hartford manufacturing project became a proving ground for our expanded team and upgraded capabilities, testing our ability to coordinate complex activities while maintaining the personalized service approach that differentiated us from larger marketing agencies. The project timeline required simultaneous work on multiple components, each with dependencies that demanded careful project management and clear communication among team members who were still learning to work together effectively. The website redesign component involved extensive research into the company's customer base, competitive landscape, and industry trends that would influence design decisions and functionality requirements. This research revealed opportunities for positioning the company more effectively within their market, while addressing customer needs that had not been adequately served by their previous marketing approach. The insights we provided exceeded their expectations and demonstrated our capacity for strategic thinking that went beyond technical implementation. The search engine optimization work required technical expertise and ongoing attention to algorithm, changes and industry best practices that most small businesses lack the resources to manage internally. Our team's ability to deliver measurable improvements in search rankings and website traffic provided concrete evidence of our value while building the client's confidence in our long-term strategic recommendations. Social media management for a traditional manufacturing company presented unique challenges that required creativity and industry knowledge to overcome effectively. The content needed to be professionally appropriate while engaging enough to capture attention in crowded social media environments. Our approach involved showcasing the company's expertise and innovation in ways that built credibility with potential customers while demonstrating thought leadership within their industry. The project's success exceeded all established metrics within the first 6 months of implementation, generating increased lead volume, improved conversion rates, and enhanced brand recognition that translated directly into revenue growth for the client. More importantly, the project established our reputation as a marketing firm capable of delivering strategic value rather than simply executing tactical activities according to client specifications. Rebecca Martinez became our most enthusiastic advocate, providing references that led to opportunities with other established businesses seeking similar digital transformation support. Her willingness to share specific results and budget information with potential clients eliminated much of the skepticism that small firms typically encounter when competing for larger projects. The referrals she provided became the foundation for sustained business growth that would continue for years. However, communicating these achievements to my parents remained challenging because the nature of entrepreneurial success differs fundamentally from corporate advancement in ways that are difficult to understand without direct experience. Corporate success involves recognizable milestones like promotions, salary increases, and job titles that can be easily compared and evaluated. Entrepreneurial success involves revenue growth, client relationships, and market positioning that lack equivalent measures for external evaluation. During family conversations, my parents continued to express concern about my career stability and long-term prospects, comparing my situation unfavorably to Sarah's corporate advancement at Goldman Sachs. Their questions focused on benefits, coverage, retirement planning, and job security rather than business growth metrics or client satisfaction levels that represented more relevant measures of entrepreneurial success. The disconnect between their concerns and my actual business situation created persistent frustration that was compounded by my inability to explain the magnitude of what we were building without appearing defensive or dismissive of their legitimate worries about financial security and professional development. The conversations became increasingly difficult as their anxiety about my choices conflicted with my growing confidence in the business direction and market opportunities. My mother's approach to discussing my career involved regular suggestions about job opportunities she had discovered through her professional network or social connections. These conversations always included detailed descriptions of the benefits packages, advancement potential, and social status associated with traditional employment, followed by gentle inquiries about whether I had considered transitioning from entrepreneurship to more conventional work arrangements. The suggestions were well-intentioned and reflected genuine concern about my financial security and professional development, but they also revealed fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of successful entrepreneurship and the market value of the business we were building. Each conversation required careful navigation between respecting their concerns and maintaining my commitment to the entrepreneurial path that was proving increasingly successful. My father's concerns focused more heavily on financial stability and retirement planning, reflecting his engineering background and systematic approach to life planning. His questions about business insurance, legal structure, and contingency planning were more directly relevant to entrepreneurial challenges. But his underlying assumption was that the business represented a temporary phase before transitioning to traditional employment with established corporations. These family dynamics were complicated by their obvious pride in Sarah's achievements and their ability to share her success stories with friends and extended family. Her promotion to vice president at Goldman Sachs, accompanied by substantial salary increases and recognition within the financial industry, provided exactly the kind of achievement that validated their parenting philosophy and immigration success story. The contrast between their enthusiastic discussion of Sarah's career progression and their cautious inquiries about my business activities created an emotional distance that was painful but seemed impossible to bridge without fundamentally changing either their understanding of entrepreneurship or my commitment to building something substantial and innovative. During this period, the business continued expanding in ways that required increasingly sophisticated management and strategic planning. We moved from shared office space to our own facility, implemented comprehensive project management systems, and developed service offerings that attracted clients from throughout New England. The growth trajectory was consistent and substantial, but occurred in ways that were difficult to communicate effectively to family members who lacked context. For evaluating entrepreneurial achievements, the team expansion continued as client demand exceeded our capacity and new opportunities required additional expertise and bandwidth. Each hiring decision involved careful consideration of cultural fit, technical capabilities, and growth potential. Building an organization that could handle increasing complexity while maintaining the quality standards that had established our market reputation. Lisa Chen joined as operations manager, bringing experience from technology companies and consulting firms that enabled us to implement systems and processes necessary for managing larger teams and more complex client relationships. Her organizational expertise allowed me to focus more heavily on strategic planning and business development rather than day-to-day operational management. David Park became our analytics director, providing data analysis capabilities that enabled us to measure campaign effectiveness more precisely while developing insights that improved strategic recommendations for clients. His background included experience with major e-commerce companies and marketing technology firms, adding credibility to our analytical capabilities. The expanded team enabled us to accept larger projects and serve more demanding clients while maintaining the personalized service approach that differentiated us from bigger marketing agencies. The combination of technical expertise, strategic thinking, and client service excellence created a competitive position that was increasingly difficult for other firms to replicate. By the end of 2018, the business had grown to 12 full-time employees and was generating annual revenue that exceeded many small marketing agencies while maintaining profit margins that reflected our efficiency and strategic focus. The growth was sustainable and based on repeat business and referrals, rather than aggressive acquisition tactics that might compromise long-term stability. However, the success remained largely invisible to my family, because entrepreneurial achievements lack the external validation mechanisms that make corporate success easily recognizable and comparable. The absence of job titles, public recognition, and standardized compensation structures made it difficult for them to understand or appreciate the magnitude of what we had accomplished. This invisibility of entrepreneurial success would continue to complicate family relationships until the Easter gathering that would finally reveal the true scale of what I had built, forcing everyone to reconsider their assumptions about achievement, recognition, and the various pathways to meaningful professional accomplishment. The transformation from successful regional consultancy to national marketing powerhouse began with an unexpected phone call on a Tuesday morning in March 2019. The caller was Amanda Richardson, Chief Marketing Officer of Pinnacle Industries, a Fortune 500 manufacturing conglomerate based in Chicago with operations across North America. Her voice carried the measured confidence of someone accustomed to making decisions involving millions of dollars, and her opening statement immediately captured my attention in ways that would fundamentally alter the trajectory of our business. Amanda had discovered our firm through an extensive search process conducted by her team to identify marketing agencies capable of managing a comprehensive digital transformation initiative across Pinnacle's 17 subsidiary companies. The scope of the potential engagement was unprecedented in our experience, involving strategic planning, implementation coordination, and performance management for marketing operations that generated over $2 billion in annual revenue. The opportunity represented either the breakthrough that would establish our firm as a major player in the marketing industry, or a challenge that would expose our limitations and potentially damage our reputation. The initial discovery call lasted nearly 2 hours as Amanda described the complexity of Pinnacle's organizational structure and the strategic challenges they faced in modernizing their marketing approach across diverse business units operating in different industries. Each subsidiary company had developed its own marketing strategies and vendor relationships over decades of independent operation, creating inefficiencies and missed opportunities for coordination that were becoming increasingly problematic as markets evolved toward digital-first customer engagement models. The parent company's executive leadership had recognized that their decentralized approach to marketing was no longer sustainable in an environment where competitors were leveraging integrated digital strategies to capture market share and improve customer acquisition costs. However, implementing coordinated marketing transformation across 17 independent business units required expertise in change management, technology integration, and performance measurement that exceeded their internal capabilities. Amanda's research had identified 3 potential partners for this initiative, including 2 established marketing agencies with impressive client rosters and decades of experience serving Fortune 500 companies. Our inclusion in this elite group reflected the reputation we had built through consistently delivering exceptional results for clients while demonstrating innovative approaches to complex marketing challenges. However, competing against firms with significantly more resources and established relationships with major corporations would require demonstrating capabilities and strategic thinking that went far beyond our previous project experience. The formal proposal process demanded comprehensive analysis of Pinnacle's current marketing operations, detailed recommendations for improvement strategies, and implementation timelines that would achieve measurable results within aggressive deadlines. The proposal development required 3 weeks of intensive research, strategic planning, and document preparation that engaged our entire team while testing our ability to think and operate at a level appropriate for major corporate clients. Jennifer Walsh led the strategic analysis component, applying her Fortune 500 experience to understand the organizational dynamics and decision-making processes that would influence implementation success. Her insights into corporate culture and change management proved invaluable for developing recommendations that would be both strategically sound and practically achievable within Pinnacle's existing organizational structure. Michael Torres conducted extensive technical analysis of Pinnacle's current marketing technology infrastructure, identifying integration opportunities and platform optimization strategies that could improve efficiency while reducing operational costs. His recommendations included specific technology implementations and migration strategies that demonstrated our capability for managing complex technical transformations. Sarah Kim developed content strategy recommendations that addressed both brand consistency requirements and market-specific customization needs across Pinnacle's diverse business portfolio. Her approach balanced corporate identity maintenance with subsidiary autonomy in ways that would enhance overall marketing effectiveness while respecting established customer relationships. The proposal presentation took place at Pinnacle's Chicago headquarters, a gleaming tower that symbolized corporate success and provided an intimidating environment for a small marketing firm attempting to compete against established industry leaders. The presentation format required defending our strategic recommendations before a panel that included Amanda Richardson, 2 other C-level executives, and subsidiary company marketing directors who would be responsible for implementation oversight. My presentation focused on demonstrating our understanding of the complex challenges involved in coordinating marketing transformation across multiple business units, while highlighting specific strategies we had developed for achieving measurable results within established timelines. The recommendations addressed both immediate tactical improvements and long-term strategic positioning that would enhance Pinnacle's competitive advantages across all markets. The competitive differentiation centered on our ability to provide personalized attention and flexible implementation approaches that larger agencies could not match due to their standardized processes and account management structures. Our track record of delivering exceptional results for clients demonstrated our commitment to partnership rather than vendor relationships, ensuring that Pinnacle's success would remain our primary objective throughout the engagement. The questions from the executive panel tested our understanding of corporate marketing challenges and our capability for managing projects of unprecedented scope and complexity. The discussions revealed their previous experiences with large marketing agencies that had failed to deliver promised results due to inadequate attention to client-specific requirements and implementation challenges. 3 weeks after the presentation, Amanda called to inform me that Pinnacle had selected our firm as their strategic marketing partner for the transformation initiative. The decision was based on our demonstrated understanding of their specific challenges, innovative approaches to complex problems, and track record of delivering exceptional results for clients with diverse needs. The contract value exceeded our previous annual revenue and would require doubling our team size while implementing sophisticated project management systems. The Pinnacle engagement transformed our business operations in ways that required fundamental changes to organizational structure, service delivery processes, and strategic planning approaches. The project demands necessitated establishing dedicated account teams, implementing enterprise-level project management systems, and developing quality assurance processes appropriate for Fortune 500 client relationships. The team expansion process became an intensive exercise in talent acquisition and organizational development, as we recruited experienced professionals capable of operating effectively in corporate environments while maintaining the innovative thinking and client service excellence that had built our reputation. Each new hire required careful evaluation of technical capabilities, cultural fit, and growth potential within our evolving organizational structure. Robert Kim joined as Senior Account Director, bringing 15 years of experience managing major marketing initiatives for technology and manufacturing companies. His background included successful implementations of marketing transformation projects for companies comparable to Pinnacle's subsidiary operations, providing crucial expertise for navigating complex corporate relationships and implementation challenges. Maria Santos became our Project Management Director, implementing comprehensive systems for coordinating multiple simultaneous initiatives while maintaining clear communication and accountability across all project components. Her previous experience included managing marketing technology implementations for Fortune 500 companies, ensuring our operational capabilities would meet Pinnacle's expectations for professional project management. Thomas Wilson joined as Performance Analytics Manager, developing measurement frameworks and reporting systems that would provide Pinnacle's executives with clear visibility into campaign performance and return on investment across all marketing initiatives. His background included analytics leadership roles at major consulting firms, bringing credibility and expertise that enhanced our strategic recommendations. The implementation phase required coordinating activities across 17 different business units while managing relationships with dozens of Pinnacle employees who had varying levels of enthusiasm for the marketing transformation initiative. The project management challenges exceeded anything we had previously encountered, requiring sophisticated communication strategies and change management approaches that would ensure successful adoption of new marketing processes. The technology integration component involved migrating multiple legacy marketing systems to unified platforms while ensuring minimal disruption to ongoing marketing activities. The technical complexity required careful planning and phased implementation approaches that would maintain operational continuity while delivering measurable improvements in efficiency and effectiveness. The content development and brand consistency initiatives required creating comprehensive style guides and messaging frameworks that would ensure coordinated marketing communications while allowing subsidiary companies sufficient flexibility to address market-specific requirements. The balance between corporate brand integrity and local market adaptation required ongoing collaboration and feedback incorporation. The performance measurement and optimization processes involved establishing baseline metrics for all marketing activities while implementing tracking systems that would provide real-time visibility into campaign effectiveness and return on investment. The analytics framework enabled data-driven decision-making that improved results while providing clear documentation of marketing transformation success. The Pinnacle project results exceeded all established success metrics within the first year of implementation, generating measurable improvements in lead generation, customer acquisition costs, and brand recognition across all 17 subsidiary companies. The quantitative results provided compelling evidence of our strategic capabilities while establishing relationships that would lead to additional opportunities with other major corporations. More importantly, the successful execution of such a complex engagement established our firm's reputation as a marketing agency capable of managing Fortune 500 client relationships while delivering exceptional results that justified significant marketing investment. The case study became a powerful tool for business development activities and provided credibility that opened doors to opportunities with other major corporations. Amanda Richardson became our strongest advocate within the corporate marketing community, providing references and introductions that led to engagements with 3 additional Fortune 500 companies within 18 months of completing the initial Pinnacle implementation. Her willingness to share specific results and budget information eliminated much of the skepticism that typically accompanies small firm presentations to major corporate prospects. The business growth trajectory accelerated dramatically as these high-profile client relationships generated referrals and reputation enhancement that positioned us as a preferred partner for marketing transformation initiatives. The combination of proven results, innovative approaches, and personalized service created competitive advantages that were increasingly difficult for larger agencies to replicate. By the end of 2019, our team had grown to 35 employees across multiple departments while generating annual revenue that placed us among the top marketing agencies in New England. The growth was sustainable and profitable, based on repeat business and referrals, rather than aggressive acquisition tactics that might compromise long-term client relationships or service quality. However, the magnitude of this success remained largely invisible to my family because entrepreneurial achievements in business-to-business markets lack the public recognition and media coverage that would make them apparent to people outside the industry. The absence of consumer brand visibility or mainstream media attention meant that even substantial business success could remain unknown to family members who measured achievement through recognizable external validation. The disconnect between my actual professional status and my family's perception of my career situation continued to create tension during family gatherings and conversations. Their concerns about job security and career progression persisted, despite the objective evidence of substantial business success and industry recognition that had been achieved through entrepreneurial initiatives. This invisibility of business-to-business success would continue until the Easter gathering when the presence of Amanda Richardson among Sarah's colleagues would finally reveal the true nature of what I had built, forcing everyone to reconsider their assumptions about achievement, recognition, and the various pathways to meaningful professional accomplishment in the modern economy. The period between late 2019 and early 2021 marked the transformation of our marketing firm from a successful regional agency into what industry publications would later recognize as one of the most innovative and rapidly growing marketing companies in North America. However, this transformation occurred entirely within business-to-business markets and professional networks that remained completely invisible to my family, creating an increasingly surreal disconnect between my actual professional status and their persistent perception of me as someone who had failed to achieve meaningful career success. The catalyst for this exponential growth phase emerged from an unexpected source during the 2020 pandemic, when traditional marketing approaches proved inadequate for businesses struggling to maintain customer engagement and revenue generation through unprecedented economic disruption. Companies across industries discovered that their existing marketing strategies were ineffective for reaching customers who had fundamentally changed their purchasing behaviors and communication preferences virtually overnight. The pandemic created market conditions that favored innovative marketing approaches and agile implementation capabilities over established relationships and traditional service delivery methods. Large marketing agencies struggled to adapt their standardized processes and bureaucratic structures to rapidly changing client needs, while smaller firms with flexible operations and creative problem-solving capabilities found themselves uniquely positioned to provide valuable solutions during a period of widespread business uncertainty. Our firm's competitive advantages became particularly apparent when existing clients began requesting emergency strategy modifications and accelerated implementation timelines that exceeded the capabilities of their other service providers. The combination of innovative thinking, rapid implementation capabilities, and comprehensive technical expertise enabled us to help clients not only survive the initial economic disruption, but actually improve their market positions by capturing opportunities that their competitors were unable to pursue effectively. The most significant opportunity emerged from a consortium of manufacturing companies that had been coordinating pandemic response strategies through an industry association. These companies recognized that their individual marketing efforts were insufficient for addressing the dramatic changes in customer behavior and procurement processes that had occurred throughout their various markets. They approached us with a proposal to develop and implement coordinated marketing initiatives that would leverage shared resources while maintaining competitive differentiation among participating companies. The consortium project required developing marketing strategies for 12 companies operating in related but distinct manufacturing sectors, each with different customer bases, competitive landscapes, and operational constraints that had been exacerbated by pandemic-related supply chain disruptions and workforce challenges. The complexity exceeded any previous project experience, while the potential impact on our business growth was unprecedented. Dr. Elizabeth Harper, the consortium coordinator and former McKinsey consultant, had identified our firm through research into marketing agencies that had demonstrated exceptional adaptability and results delivery during the pandemic period. Her evaluation process included extensive reference checking with our existing clients and detailed analysis of our strategic capabilities and implementation methodologies. The consortium engagement required establishing a dedicated project team of 15 professionals while implementing enterprise-level project management systems and quality assurance processes, appropriate for coordinating marketing activities across multiple companies simultaneously. The operational challenges involved managing complex interdependencies while maintaining confidentiality requirements and competitive neutrality among participating organizations. Jessica Martinez joined our leadership team as Vice President of Strategic Partnerships, bringing experience from major consulting firms and technology companies that enabled us to navigate the sophisticated relationship management and project coordination requirements involved in consortium projects. Her expertise in stakeholder management and strategic planning proved essential for ensuring successful implementation across diverse organizational cultures and business requirements. Daniel Kim became our Director of Innovation Strategy, leading development of creative marketing approaches that would differentiate consortium participants from competitors while avoiding conflicts among member companies. His background included experience with startup accelerators and venture capital firms, providing valuable perspective on emerging marketing technologies and customer engagement strategies. Rachel Thompson joined as Director of Performance Analytics, implementing comprehensive measurement frameworks that would provide transparent reporting on marketing effectiveness, while protecting confidential business information for each consortium participant. Her previous experience included analytics leadership roles at major e-commerce and technology companies. The consortium project implementation required coordinating marketing initiatives across multiple industries while managing relationships with dozens of executives who had varying levels of experience with collaborative business arrangements. The stakeholder management challenges were compounded by competitive sensitivities and confidentiality requirements that demanded sophisticated communication protocols and information sharing procedures. The strategic development phase involved conducting comprehensive market research and competitive analysis across all participating industries, while identifying opportunities for coordinated marketing initiatives that would benefit all consortium members without creating conflicts or competitive disadvantages. The analysis revealed significant opportunities for shared content development, coordinated customer education initiatives, and collaborative trade show participation that would reduce costs while improving market impact. The technology integration component required implementing unified marketing platforms and analytics systems while maintaining appropriate data security and confidentiality protections for each participating company. The technical complexity demanded innovative solutions that would enable collaboration without compromising competitive information or proprietary business processes. The results exceeded all established success metrics within the first year of implementation, generating measurable improvements in lead generation, customer acquisition costs, and market share for all participating companies. The quantitative outcomes provided compelling evidence of our capability for managing complex multi-stakeholder initiatives while delivering exceptional value for all participants. The consortium project success led to additional opportunities with industry associations and business networks seeking similar collaborative marketing solutions. The reputation we established for managing complex stakeholder relationships while delivering exceptional results opened doors to opportunities with trade organizations, professional associations, and business consortiums across multiple industries. Dr. Harper became our strongest advocate within professional consulting networks, providing introductions to executives at major corporations and industry organizations who were seeking innovative marketing solutions. Her recommendations carried significant weight, due to her McKinsey background and established relationships throughout the business consulting community. The business development momentum accelerated throughout 2020 as pandemic-related disruptions created demand for marketing agencies capable of rapid strategy adaptation and implementation flexibility. Our demonstrated ability to help clients not only maintain but improve their market positions during economic uncertainty attracted attention from companies across industries seeking similar strategic support. The team expansion continued as client demand exceeded our capacity and new opportunities required additional expertise in specialized areas. By the end of 2020, our organization had grown to 58 employees across multiple departments while generating annual revenue that placed us among the top marketing agencies in the northeastern United States. The growth trajectory accelerated further in early 2021 as vaccination distribution enabled economic recovery and companies began investing in marketing initiatives to capture pent-up customer demand. Our established relationships with clients who had maintained or improved their market positions during the pandemic provided a significant competitive advantage as these companies expanded their marketing investments to capitalize on improving economic conditions. The most transformative opportunity emerged when Amanda Richardson, now Chief Marketing Officer at 3 different companies through her consulting practice, recommended our firm to the board of directors at Synergy Dynamics, a holding company that owned 12 technology and manufacturing businesses across North America. The board was seeking a marketing partner capable of developing coordinated strategies that would enhance the overall value of their business portfolio while improving individual company performance. The Synergy Dynamics engagement required developing marketing strategies for 12 companies with combined annual revenue exceeding $8 billion, while managing relationships with dozens of executives across multiple industries and geographic markets. The scope exceeded our previous experience by several orders of magnitude, while providing opportunities to demonstrate strategic capabilities at the highest levels of corporate leadership. The implementation phase required establishing dedicated account teams for each Synergy Dynamics subsidiary while coordinating overall strategy development and performance measurement across all portfolio companies. The organizational complexity demanded sophisticated project management systems and communication protocols that would ensure successful collaboration among dozens of stakeholders with varying priorities and operational constraints. The technology and analytics requirements involved implementing enterprise-level marketing platforms and measurement systems capable of providing real-time performance visibility across all portfolio companies, while maintaining appropriate data security and confidentiality protections. The technical challenges required innovative solutions and significant infrastructure investment that tested our operational capabilities. The strategic planning process involved comprehensive analysis of market opportunities and competitive dynamics across multiple industries while identifying synergies and coordination opportunities that would enhance overall portfolio performance. The analysis required deep understanding of diverse business models and market conditions while developing actionable recommendations for each subsidiary company. The results achieved through the synergy dynamics engagement established our firm as one of the premier marketing agencies serving major corporations and investment firms. The success metrics exceeded all expectations while generating case studies and reference relationships that opened doors to opportunities with other large corporations and private equity firms. The business growth culminated in late 2021 when we received an acquisition offer from Meridian Partners, a private equity firm that specialized in investing in rapidly growing marketing and technology service companies. The valuation reflected the substantial value we had created through consistent execution and strategic relationship building, while providing an opportunity to accelerate growth through additional capital investment and operational support. The decision to accept the acquisition offer represented a pivotal moment that would fundamentally change the nature of our business, while providing resources for pursuing even larger opportunities in corporate marketing services. The transaction structure included significant cash consideration while maintaining operational independence and growth trajectory that had created our market success. Following the acquisition completion, I was appointed Chief Executive Officer of the expanded organization, now operating under the name Pinnacle Marketing Solutions, with headquarters in Hartford and regional offices in Boston, New York, and Chicago. The appointment reflected recognition of the strategic vision and operational excellence that had built the business, while providing formal acknowledgement of leadership capabilities that had been demonstrated through consistent results delivery. The CEO appointment came with responsibilities for strategic planning and organizational development across an enterprise that now employed over 100 professionals while serving Fortune 500 clients across North America. The leadership role required capabilities in corporate governance, strategic planning, and stakeholder management that extended far beyond the entrepreneurial skills that had launched the original consultancy. However, despite achieving this level of professional success and industry recognition, my family remained completely unaware of the magnitude of what had been accomplished. The nature of business-to-business marketing services and private equity transactions meant that our achievements received no mainstream media coverage or public recognition that would have made them apparent to family members who measured success through consumer brand visibility and public acknowledgement. The disconnect between my actual professional status as CEO of a major marketing firm and my family's continued perception of me as someone struggling to find career direction created an increasingly surreal dynamic during family conversations and gatherings. Their concerns about my job security and career prospects persisted despite objective evidence of substantial business success and industry leadership that remained invisible to them. This invisibility of corporate success would continue until the Easter gathering, when Amanda Richardson's presence among Sarah's colleagues would finally reveal the true nature of what I had built, forcing everyone to reconsider their assumptions about achievement, recognition, and the various pathways to meaningful professional accomplishment in the modern economy. The spring of 2022 brought with it a series of family conversations that crystallized the profound disconnect between my professional reality and my parents' perception of my career trajectory. These interactions occurred during a period when Pinnacle Marketing Solutions was experiencing unprecedented growth and industry recognition, yet my family remained entirely unaware of these achievements due to the private nature of business-to-business success and their continued focus on traditional markers of professional accomplishment. The pattern of these conversations had become predictably frustrating, yet emotionally draining. Each interaction began with polite inquiries about my business activities, followed by gentle suggestions about alternative career opportunities that my parents had discovered through their professional networks or social connections. The underlying assumption remained constant. My entrepreneurial pursuits represented a temporary phase that would eventually give way to more conventional employment with established corporations offering recognizable titles, structured advancement paths, and reliable benefit packages. My mother's approach to these discussions reflected her genuine concern about my long-term financial security and professional development, filtered through her understanding of career success that had been shaped by her own immigration experience and observations of other families within their social circle. Her questions consistently focused on retirement planning, health insurance coverage, and job stability rather than business growth metrics, client satisfaction levels, or industry recognition that represented more relevant measures of entrepreneurial success. During our monthly phone conversation in March, she shared detailed information about a marketing director position that had become available at the medical device company, where she maintained her accounting practice. The opportunity offered competitive salary, comprehensive benefits, and clear advancement potential within a well-established organization that her colleagues respected. Her description of the position included extensive details about the company culture, management structure, and professional development opportunities that would be available to someone with my educational background and work experience. The conversation required careful navigation between acknowledging her thoughtful research and maintaining my commitment to the business that had achieved substantial success, despite her inability to recognize or appreciate its significance. Her efforts to help were motivated by love and concern, but they also reflected fundamental misunderstanding about the nature of successful entrepreneurship and the market value of what we had built through years of strategic planning and execution. My father's approach to discussing my career situation involved more systematic analysis of the risks and benefits associated with entrepreneurial ventures compared to traditional employment arrangements. His engineering background shaped his perspective toward comprehensive evaluation of financial security, professional stability, and long-term planning considerations that influenced his recommendations about career development strategies. His concerns were expressed through detailed questions about business insurance coverage, legal liability protection, and contingency planning for potential economic downturns that could affect client relationships and revenue stability. These inquiries were legitimate and reflected genuine interest in understanding the practical aspects of business ownership, but they were framed by underlying assumptions that entrepreneurship represented higher risk and lower security compared to corporate employment. The conversations became increasingly difficult as my parents' anxiety about my career choices conflicted with my growing confidence in the business direction and market opportunities that continued to expand through strategic client relationships and industry recognition. Their persistent focus on the potential risks of entrepreneurship prevented them from recognizing the substantial achievements and competitive advantages that had been developed through years of consistent effort and strategic decision-making. Meanwhile, Sarah's career progression continued to provide regular validation of conventional approaches to professional development that reinforced my parents' preferences for traditional career paths. Her recent promotion to senior vice president at Goldman Sachs had been accompanied by substantial salary increases, expanded responsibilities, and recognition within the financial services industry that generated enthusiastic discussion during family gatherings and social occasions. The contrast between their detailed knowledge of Sarah's professional achievements and their limited understanding of my business activities created an emotional dynamic that was both painful and seemingly impossible to address effectively. Every family conversation included implicit comparisons between our different approaches to career development, with Sarah's conventional success serving as the standard against which my choices were evaluated and consistently found inadequate. The situation was further complicated by my parents' obvious pride in sharing Sarah's achievements with their extended family and social connections. Her success story validated their parenting philosophy and immigration experience, while providing concrete evidence of their children's ability to exceed their own professional accomplishments through dedication to education and strategic career planning. During the annual Chinese New Year celebration in February, The family gathering provided multiple opportunities for these dynamics to manifest through conversations with relatives and family friends who inquired about both daughters' career progress. Sarah's updates about her latest promotion and increased responsibilities received enthusiastic attention and detailed follow-up questions that demonstrated genuine interest and understanding of her achievements within the financial services industry. My own updates about business activities were acknowledged politely, but with obvious uncertainty about how to respond appropriately to information about client relationships, team expansion, and strategic initiatives that did not fit familiar categories of professional success. The social dynamics revealed how thoroughly my parents had internalized conventional definitions of achievement while struggling to communicate effectively about entrepreneurial accomplishments to their social circle. The disconnect was particularly apparent during conversations with family friends whose children had followed traditional career paths in medicine, law, engineering, and finance. These parents shared detailed information about their children's residency programs, law firm partnerships, engineering project assignments, and corporate promotions that provided clear frameworks for understanding and comparing professional progress. When asked about my career situation, my parents would provide vague descriptions of my business activities while expressing cautious optimism about future prospects and underlying concern about long-term stability. Their discomfort with these conversations was evident and understandable, given their lack of context for evaluating entrepreneurial achievements or communicating them effectively to others who shared their preferences for conventional career markers. The emotional impact of these family dynamics was compounded by my inability to bridge the gap between their concerns and my actual professional situation without appearing defensive or dismissive of their legitimate worries about financial security and career stability. The magnitude of what we had achieved through Pinnacle Marketing Solutions remained largely incomprehensible to family members who measured success through job titles, salary figures, and corporate advancement rather than business growth, client relationships, and industry recognition. During this period, the business continued expanding in ways that reinforced my confidence in the strategic decisions that had shaped our development, while highlighting the surreal nature of family conversations about career prospects and professional stability. The contrast between my daily reality as CEO of a rapidly growing marketing firm and my family's perception of me as someone struggling to find career direction created cognitive dissonance that was difficult to process effectively. The client relationships we had developed with Fortune 500 companies provided regular validation of our strategic capabilities and competitive positioning within the marketing industry. The referral patterns and repeat business demonstrated client satisfaction levels that exceeded industry standards, while generating revenue growth that supported continued team expansion and operational enhancement. The team leadership responsibilities required strategic thinking and decision-making capabilities that extended far beyond the entrepreneurial skills that had launched the original consultancy. Managing over 100 professionals across multiple locations demanded expertise in organizational development, performance management, and strategic planning that challenged me to grow professionally while building systems and processes appropriate for enterprise-level operations. The industry recognition we received through awards and publication features provided external validation of our innovative approaches and exceptional results delivery. However, this recognition occurred entirely within business-to-business marketing, publications and professional networks that remained invisible to family members who relied on mainstream media and consumer brand awareness for understanding business success. The private equity partnership with Meridian Partners had created additional opportunities for strategic expansion, while providing resources for pursuing larger client relationships and more complex marketing initiatives. The relationship demonstrated institutional investor confidence in our business model and growth trajectory, while enabling acceleration of strategic plans that had been constrained by capital limitations. The acquisition structure had resulted in significant personal financial outcomes that exceeded what most corporate executives achieve through traditional career advancement. Yet these results remained unknown to my family due to the private nature of business transactions and their focus on conventional measures of professional success. The disconnect between actual financial achievement and perceived career failure created an increasingly absurd situation that seemed impossible to address through normal family communication patterns. As spring progressed toward the traditional Easter gathering, the accumulated tension from years of misunderstanding and family concern about my career choices had created conditions for potential confrontation or revelation that could fundamentally alter family dynamics. The annual holiday celebration would bring together extended family members and social connections who shared my parents' values and expectations about professional achievement, creating an environment where the contrast between perception and reality might become impossible to maintain. The invitation list for the Easter celebration included several of Sarah's colleagues from Goldman Sachs, reflecting her continued integration into professional networks that impressed my parents and validated their confidence in conventional career approaches. The presence of these successful finance professionals would provide additional opportunities for implicit comparisons between our different career paths, while reinforcing family assumptions about the relative value of traditional versus entrepreneurial approaches to professional development. However, unknown to any family members, one of Sarah's invited colleagues had professional connections that would create the catalyst for revealing the true nature of my business achievements. The convergence of these professional relationships at the family gathering would finally expose the magnitude of what had been built through years of strategic planning and execution, forcing everyone to reconsider their assumptions about success, achievement, and the various pathways to meaningful professional accomplishment in the modern economy. The stage was set for a revelation that would transform family dynamics while providing long-overdue recognition for achievements that had remained invisible due to the private nature of business-to-business success and persistent family focus on conventional markers of professional advancement. The Easter gathering would become the catalyst for finally bridging the gap between entrepreneurial reality and family perception that had created years of tension and misunderstanding. The week preceding the Easter gathering brought an unexpected series of professional developments that would create the perfect conditions for the revelation that none of us anticipated. These developments began with a strategic planning meeting at Pinnacle Marketing Solutions that would establish new client relationships and expand our service offerings in ways that demonstrated the sophisticated level of corporate partnerships we had developed through years of consistent excellence and strategic positioning within the marketing industry. The meeting was convened to discuss expansion opportunities presented by Meridian Partners, our private equity investors, who had identified potential acquisition targets and strategic partnership possibilities that would accelerate our growth trajectory while enhancing our capabilities in emerging marketing technology sectors. The discussion included detailed analysis of market opportunities, competitive positioning, and operational integration strategies that would enable us to serve larger clients while maintaining the service excellence that had built our reputation. Amanda Richardson attended the meeting in her capacity as Senior Marketing Consultant for Meridian Partners, a role she had assumed after establishing her independent consulting practice following her successful tenure as Chief Marketing Officer at Pinnacle Industries. Her expertise in corporate marketing transformation and strategic planning had made her a valuable advisor for Meridian's portfolio companies, particularly those operating in business-to-business service sectors where her experience provided crucial insights into client relationship management and service delivery optimization. The strategic planning discussion revealed opportunities for expanding our service offerings into marketing technology consulting and implementation services that would address the growing demand among Fortune 500 companies for integrated marketing platform solutions. The market analysis indicated substantial revenue potential while leveraging our existing client relationships and technical capabilities that had been developed through previous complex implementation projects. Amanda's contributions to the strategic planning process demonstrated her sophisticated understanding of corporate marketing challenges and her ability to identify opportunities for service differentiation that would enhance our competitive positioning. Her recommendations included specific client targeting strategies and service development approaches that would enable us to capture market share in high-value consulting segments while maintaining our core marketing services business. The meeting concluded with agreement to pursue several strategic initiatives that would require additional team expansion and technology investment, while positioning us for accelerated growth in corporate consulting services. The decisions reflected confidence in our organizational capabilities and market positioning, while establishing operational plans that would guide our development throughout the remainder of 2022. Following the strategic planning meeting, Amanda mentioned her upcoming attendance at a social event in Connecticut, where she would be joining colleagues from Goldman Sachs for an Easter celebration, hosted by a professional family she had met through business networking activities. Her casual reference to the gathering included mention of the host family's daughter, who worked in investment banking and had invited several colleagues to join the holiday celebration. The coincidence of Amanda's attendance at what would prove to be my family's Easter gathering represented the convergence of professional and personal worlds that had remained entirely separate throughout my career development. The intersection of these previously disconnected spheres would create the catalyst for revealing the true nature of my professional achievements to family members who had remained unaware of the magnitude of what had been accomplished through entrepreneurial initiatives. Meanwhile, the preparations for the Easter celebration at my parents' home in Westfield proceeded according to their established traditions and social expectations. The guest list included extended family members, longtime family friends, and several of Sarah's colleagues from Goldman Sachs who represented the kind of professional relationships that my parents valued and appreciated. The gathering would provide opportunities for displaying their pride in Sarah's conventional success, while maintaining their diplomatic approach to discussing my career situation with guests who shared their preferences for traditional professional achievements. My mother's preparation activities included detailed menu planning, house cleaning, and coordination with Sarah regarding the appropriate guest accommodations and social arrangements that would ensure a successful family celebration. The level of attention devoted to these preparations reflected the importance she placed on family gatherings as opportunities for strengthening relationships, while demonstrating the success and stability that their family had achieved through dedication to education and professional advancement. The guest list coordination revealed Sarah's continued integration into professional networks that impressed my parents and validated their confidence in conventional career approaches. Her colleagues represented successful finance professionals whose achievements provided concrete examples of the career trajectories that my parents preferred and understood. Their presence at the family gathering would reinforce social dynamics that positioned traditional corporate success as the standard for measuring professional accomplishment. The invitation extended to Amanda Richardson had come through networking connections between Sarah's colleagues and the consulting community that served major corporations in the Northeast region. Amanda's reputation as a strategic marketing consultant and her previous executive experience at Fortune 500 companies made her an interesting addition to the guest list, while providing opportunities for professional networking among the finance professionals who would be attending. However, none of the family members were aware of Amanda's direct professional relationship with me through her consulting work with Meridian Partners and her ongoing involvement in strategic planning for Pinnacle Marketing Solutions. The connection remained unknown because my family had never inquired about specific client relationships or consulting partnerships that were part of our business operations, focusing instead on their general concerns about entrepreneurial stability and career security. The week leading up to the Easter gathering included several family conversations that reinforced the established patterns of gentle concern about my career direction, combined with continued enthusiasm about Sarah's professional achievements. These interactions followed familiar scripts that had been developed through years of similar discussions, with each family member maintaining their respective positions regarding the relative merits of entrepreneurial versus conventional career approaches. My conversation with my mother on the Wednesday before Easter included her sharing of additional information about corporate marketing positions that she had discovered through her professional network and social connections. Her research had identified several opportunities at established companies that offered competitive compensation, comprehensive benefits, and structured advancement paths, that would provide the security and recognition she believed I should be pursuing. The conversation required the same careful navigation that had characterized previous discussions about career alternatives, balancing respect for her thoughtful research with commitment to the business that continued to exceed all performance expectations while serving clients whose requirements demanded the highest levels of strategic thinking and execution excellence. Her suggestions were motivated by genuine concern about my long-term financial security and professional development, but they also reflected persistent misunderstanding about the nature of successful entrepreneurship. My father's pre-Easter conversation focused on practical considerations related to business planning and risk management that demonstrated his systematic approach to evaluating career stability and financial security. His questions addressed business insurance coverage, legal structure optimization, and succession planning that reflected legitimate concerns about entrepreneurial ventures while revealing his underlying preference for employment arrangements. That provided greater predictability and institutional support. These conversations continued to create emotional tension that was compounded by my inability to communicate the magnitude of what we had achieved through Pinnacle Marketing Solutions without appearing defensive or dismissive of their legitimate concerns about career stability. The gap between their perception of my professional situation and the actual reality of leading a rapidly growing marketing firm with Fortune 500 clients remained impossible to bridge through normal family communication. Patterns? Sarah's pre-Easter conversations with family members provided additional opportunities for celebrating her recent promotion and discussing her expanded responsibilities within Goldman Sachs. Her updates included detailed information about client relationships, transaction involvement, and professional recognition that generated enthusiastic responses from parents who understood and appreciated the significance of her achievements within the financial services industry. The contrast between family responses to Sarah's career updates and their polite but uncertain reactions to information about my business activities continued to reinforce social dynamics that positioned conventional success as superior to entrepreneurial achievements. The pattern had become so established that family members automatically responded to our respective career discussions with predictable levels of enthusiasm and concern that reflected their deeply held beliefs about professional development and career security. The final preparations for the Easter gathering included coordination of arrival times, meal planning, and social arrangements that would accommodate the diverse group of family members and professional colleagues who would be attending. The logistics required careful attention to seating arrangements, conversation facilitation, and guest introduction strategies that would ensure successful social interactions while providing opportunities for professional networking among the attending colleagues. My parents' anticipation for the gathering reflected their enjoyment of family celebrations that brought together extended family members and demonstrated the success and stability that their household had achieved through years of dedicated effort toward education and professional advancement. The presence of Sarah's successful colleagues would provide additional validation of their parenting philosophy, while creating opportunities for meaningful conversations about career development and professional achievement. However, the convergence of Amanda Richardson's attendance with my own presence at the family gathering would create conditions for an unexpected revelation that would fundamentally alter family dynamics and force everyone to reconsider their assumptions about success, achievement, and the various pathways to meaningful professional accomplishment. The intersection of professional and personal worlds that had remained entirely separate would finally expose the magnitude of what had been built through years of strategic planning and execution excellence. The stage was set for a moment of recognition that would transform family relationships while providing long overdue acknowledgement of achievements that had remained invisible due to the private nature of business-to-business success and persistent family focus on conventional markers of professional advancement. The Easter gathering would become the catalyst for bridging the gap between entrepreneurial reality and family perception that had created years of tension and misunderstanding. The anticipation building toward this revelation was unknown to any of the participants, Yet the convergence of circumstances would create the perfect opportunity for truth to emerge through natural social interactions rather than forced explanations or defensive presentations of professional achievements. The power of the upcoming revelation would derive from its organic emergence through professional recognition rather than family advocacy or self-promotion. Easter Sunday morning arrived with the kind of crisp April weather that made my parents' meticulously maintained garden appear at its seasonal best, providing an elegant backdrop for the family gathering that would bring together relatives, longtime friends, and Sarah's professional colleagues in what had become an annual tradition of celebration and social connection. The preparations had been completed with characteristic attention to detail, reflecting my mother's commitment to hospitality, excellence, and her understanding of these gatherings as opportunities to demonstrate family success and strengthen important relationships. The morning routine in the Chen household began before dawn, as my mother initiated the complex orchestration of meal preparation, house arrangement, and logistical coordination required for hosting a sophisticated social gathering. Her approach to these celebrations reflected decades of experience managing similar events while maintaining professional responsibilities and family obligations that demanded exceptional organizational capabilities and attention to quality standards. The menu selection represented a carefully planned combination of traditional Easter dishes and contemporary cuisine that would appeal to diverse tastes while accommodating dietary preferences and cultural expectations among the expected guests. The preparation timeline had been developed weeks in advance to ensure optimal food quality and presentation, while allowing adequate time for final arrangements and guest reception activities. My father's contributions to the preparation process focused on house maintenance, furniture arrangement, and technical setup that would support comfortable social interactions throughout the day. His systematic approach to logistics reflected his engineering background and attention to detail that ensured all practical considerations had been addressed comprehensively before guest arrivals began. The guest coordination activities included final confirmation of arrival times, parking arrangements, and special accommodation requirements that would ensure smooth social dynamics and comfortable experiences for all attendees. The complexity of managing multiple guest categories, from family relatives to professional colleagues, required diplomatic skills and social awareness that my parents had developed through years of similar hosting experiences. Sarah arrived early to assist with final preparations and coordinate the arrival of her Goldman Sachs colleagues, who represented an important social component of the gathering. Her presence provided opportunities for detailed discussion of guest introductions, conversation facilitation strategies, and social arrangement approaches that would maximize networking opportunities while maintaining the family celebration atmosphere that characterized these traditional gatherings. The colleague group from Goldman Sachs included Marcus Williams, a senior vice president who specialized in corporate finance advisory services for manufacturing and technology companies throughout the Northeast region. His professional background included extensive experience with merger and acquisition transactions, private equity partnerships, and strategic planning initiatives that had established his reputation as a sophisticated advisor for complex business transactions and organizational development projects. Jennifer Chang, another attending colleague, served as managing director for Goldman Sachs Asset Management, where she focused on investment strategies for institutional clients, including pension funds, endowments, and corporate treasury operations. Her expertise in portfolio management and risk assessment had earned recognition within the financial services industry while building relationships with corporate executives and institutional decision-makers across multiple sectors. David Park, the third professional colleague attending the gathering, worked as executive director in Goldman Sachs's investment banking division, where he managed client relationships and transaction execution for middle-market companies seeking capital raising, strategic partnerships, or acquisition opportunities. His client portfolio included companies across various industries, providing him with broad exposure to different business models and market dynamics that influenced corporate strategic planning. The presence of these accomplished finance professionals would provide my parents with opportunities to engage in conversations about business trends, economic conditions, and professional development topics that aligned with their interests and understanding of corporate success. Their attendance represented validation of Sarah's professional network development and career advancement within prestigious financial services organizations that commanded respect throughout their social community. However, unknown to any family members, the guest list would also include Amanda Richardson, whose attendance had been arranged through professional networking connections between the Goldman Sachs team and the broader corporate consulting community that served major companies throughout the region. Her inclusion in the gathering represented the convergence of professional worlds that had remained entirely separate throughout my career development, creating conditions for unexpected recognition and revelation. Amanda's arrival was scheduled for mid-morning, allowing time for initial social interactions and guest introductions before the formal meal service began. Her presence would add depth to the professional networking opportunities while providing my parents with additional examples of successful corporate career development that reinforced their preferences for traditional achievement pathways. The morning guest arrivals began with extended family members who had maintained close relationships with my parents throughout their decades of residence in Westfield. These relatives included my Aunt Linda and Uncle Robert, who had followed similar immigration and professional development trajectories while establishing successful careers in accounting and engineering, respectively. Their children had pursued conventional career paths in medicine and law, providing additional examples of traditional professional success that validated my parents' beliefs about optimal career development strategies. The family friend contingent included the Morrison family, whose long-standing relationship with my parents had been built through shared professional interests and community involvement activities. Dr. James Morrison served as a senior engineer at the same technology company, where my father had advanced through management positions, while his wife Carol maintained a successful accounting practice that often coordinated with my mother's professional activities. Their presence provided continuity and stability that reinforced the social connections my parents valued most highly. The conversation topics during early arrival interactions focused on family updates, professional achievements, and community developments that provided comfortable common ground for guests with diverse backgrounds and interests. The social dynamics reflected the established patterns that had characterized previous gatherings, with family members and longtime friends sharing familiar territory, while professional colleagues navigated initial relationship-building activities. Sarah's role as conversation facilitator became apparent as she introduced her Goldman Sachs colleagues to various family members and friends, providing professional background information and common interest identification that enabled meaningful social connections. Her comfort level with these introduction activities demonstrated her social skills development and confidence in professional networking situations that impressed my parents and validated their pride in her career advancement. The discussion of professional achievements and career developments provided natural opportunities for comparing different approaches to success while reinforcing conventional wisdom about corporate advancement and traditional career progression. The Goldman Sachs colleagues shared insights about financial markets, economic trends, and business development strategies that generated enthusiastic engagement from family members who appreciated exposure to sophisticated professional perspectives. My own arrival at the gathering occurred during this initial social mixing period, providing opportunities for guest introductions and conversation participation that followed established family patterns. The interaction dynamics reflected the familiar positioning of my professional activities as interesting but uncertain compared to the clearly successful career trajectories represented by Sarah's colleagues and other accomplished guests. The conversation topics when discussing my business activities remained politely general, focusing on client service provision and team management rather than specific achievement metrics or industry recognition that might have provided more accurate understanding of our professional success level. The family's approach to presenting my career situation maintained diplomatic neutrality, while implicitly positioning conventional corporate success as the preferred standard for professional accomplishment. The pre-meal social period provided ample time for relationship development and professional networking among guests who shared common interests in business development, economic analysis, and career advancement strategies. The conversations revealed sophisticated understanding of corporate environments and market dynamics among the finance professionals, while highlighting their impressive achievements within highly competitive industry sectors. However, the social interactions also reinforced the perception gaps that had characterized family understanding of entrepreneurial success compared to corporate advancement. The absence of familiar corporate titles, standardized compensation structures, and recognizable advancement milestones made it difficult for family members to communicate effectively about my professional situation to guests who shared their preferences for conventional achievement markers. The anticipation building toward Amanda Richardson's arrival remained unknown to family members who had no awareness of her professional relationship with me through Meridian Partners and our strategic planning collaborations. Her impending presence represented the catalyst that would transform social dynamics and challenge established assumptions about success, achievement, and professional recognition within family contexts. The morning progression toward the formal meal service created natural opportunities for expanded conversation and deeper professional discussions that would provide the setting for unexpected revelations and relationship discoveries. The convergence of professional worlds that had remained separate would finally create conditions for authentic recognition and acknowledgement of achievements that had been invisible to family members despite their substantial impact and industry significance. The stage was perfectly set for the moment when Amanda's arrival would initiate a sequence of professional recognition and family revelation that would fundamentally alter the social dynamics and challenge every assumption that had been maintained about career success and achievement recognition. The power of the upcoming transformation would derive from its organic emergence through professional relationships rather than family advocacy or defensive self-promotion. The elegant social setting, the presence of sophisticated professionals, and the convergence of previously separate worlds would create optimal conditions for a revelation that would resonate far beyond the immediate family gathering, providing lasting insights about the nature of success, the importance of authentic achievement, and the complex relationships between professional accomplishment and family recognition in contemporary society. Amanda Richardson arrived at the Chen family home precisely at 11:30, her punctuality reflecting the professional discipline that had characterized her corporate career and consulting practice. Her appearance embodied the polished sophistication of successful business executives, wearing a tailored navy blazer and elegant accessories that conveyed both professional credibility and appropriate respect for the family celebration setting. The confidence in her demeanor suggested someone accustomed to commanding attention in corporate boardrooms while maintaining the social grace necessary for navigating complex professional relationships. My mother greeted Amanda at the front entrance with the gracious hospitality that had become her signature approach to welcoming distinguished guests into their home. The introduction process followed established protocols for integrating new arrivals into ongoing social gatherings, with careful attention to providing context about Amanda's professional background and connection to the Goldman Sachs colleagues, who had facilitated her invitation to the family celebration. Sarah immediately approached to facilitate Amanda's integration into the existing conversation groups, demonstrating her developed skills in professional networking and social relationship management. The introduction sequence included relevant background information about Amanda's consulting practice and previous executive experience that positioned her as a valuable addition to the professional networking opportunities that characterize these family gatherings. The initial conversations with Amanda focused on her transition from corporate executive roles to independent consulting practice, providing insights into career development strategies and entrepreneurial approaches to professional services that generated interest among the finance professionals and family members who appreciated exposure to diverse business perspectives. Her articulate discussion of strategic planning and marketing transformation demonstrated sophisticated understanding of corporate challenges while establishing her credibility as a thought leader in business development. However, the social interactions proceeded without any recognition of my presence or professional identity, as Amanda engaged with other guests, while I remained positioned in conversation groups that did not naturally intersect with her initial networking activities. The family gathering dynamics continued to follow established patterns that positioned me as a peripheral participant in professional discussions, while highlighting the achievements and expertise of guests whose backgrounds aligned more closely with conventional success markers. The progression toward formal meal service created opportunities for expanded guest interaction, as seating arrangements brought together diverse conversation partners and facilitated deeper professional discussions. My mother's careful attention to table placement reflected her understanding of social dynamics and her commitment to creating networking opportunities that would benefit all attendees while maintaining the family celebration atmosphere. The dining room arrangement showcased my parents' commitment to elegant entertaining, with carefully selected linens, china, and floral arrangements that created an atmosphere appropriate for sophisticated business discussions and meaningful relationship development. The attention to aesthetic details reflected their understanding of hospitality as an extension of professional credibility and social positioning within their community. The meal service began with appetizer presentations that provided natural conversation starters while guests settled into their assigned seating positions. The early discussion topics included current business trends, economic conditions, and professional development strategies that engaged the finance professionals while providing educational value for family members interested in corporate perspectives on market dynamics and strategic planning. Amanda's seating position placed her in direct conversation range with several Goldman Sachs colleagues, enabling detailed discussions about marketing transformation strategies and consulting methodologies that demonstrated her expertise in areas relevant to their client advisory activities. The professional dialogue revealed sophisticated understanding of corporate challenges, while highlighting strategic approaches that had proven effective in similar organizational transformation initiatives. The conversation naturally evolved towards specific examples of successful marketing transformation projects, with Amanda sharing insights from her consulting practice that illustrated innovative approaches to complex business challenges. Her descriptions of client engagement strategies and implementation methodologies provided valuable perspectives for the finance professionals who regularly advised corporate clients on operational improvement and strategic planning initiatives. During this professional dialogue, Amanda mentioned her recent involvement in strategic planning activities for a rapidly growing marketing firm that had achieved remarkable success in serving Fortune 500 clients through innovative service delivery approaches and exceptional results achievement. Her description included specific details about the company's growth trajectory, client portfolio development, and industry recognition that had established it as a premier marketing services provider in the Northeast region. The conversation captured increasing attention from other guests, as Amanda described the sophisticated strategic planning processes and organizational development initiatives that had enabled this marketing firm to compete successfully against much larger agencies while maintaining service excellence and client satisfaction levels that exceeded industry standards. Her enthusiasm for the company's achievements was evident as she detailed their innovative approaches to complex marketing challenges and their ability to deliver exceptional results for demanding corporate clients. Marcus Williams, the Goldman Sachs Senior Vice President, expressed interest in learning more about this marketing firm, noting that his corporate finance advisory practice frequently encountered middle-market companies seeking strategic marketing support for growth initiatives and competitive positioning improvements. His professional curiosity about innovative service providers reflected ongoing client needs for marketing expertise that could support business development and market expansion objectives. Amanda continued describing the marketing firm's capabilities and achievements, mentioning specific client success stories and performance metrics that demonstrated their strategic value and competitive advantages within the marketing services industry. Her detailed knowledge of their operations and strategic planning reflected her deep involvement in their business development, while highlighting the substantial scale of their client relationships and revenue generation. Jennifer Chang inquired about the firm's leadership and organizational structure, expressing professional interest in understanding how smaller marketing agencies could compete effectively against established industry leaders while maintaining the operational capabilities necessary for serving Fortune 500 clients. Her questions reflected genuine curiosity about entrepreneurial success strategies and innovative business model development that enabled rapid growth in competitive service sectors. Amanda's response included detailed description of the company's chief executive officer, emphasizing the exceptional leadership capabilities and strategic vision that had guided the firm's development from small consultancy to major marketing services provider. Her characterization highlighted innovative thinking, exceptional client relationship management, and sophisticated understanding of corporate marketing challenges that had enabled sustained competitive advantages and continued growth acceleration. The description of this CEO's background and achievements captured the attention of guests who appreciated examples of entrepreneurial success and innovative business leadership. Amanda's detailed knowledge of the individual's professional development and strategic decision-making reflected close working relationships while providing insights into the personal qualities that had enabled such remarkable business achievement and industry recognition. As Amanda continued describing the marketing firm's leadership and capabilities, her gaze moved around the table to engage different conversation participants while sharing her enthusiasm for the company's achievements and strategic potential. The natural progression of her eye contact and social engagement brought her attention to my position at the table, where I had been listening to the conversation while maintaining the diplomatic neutrality that had characterized my participation in family gatherings where professional discussions focused on other people's achievements. The moment of recognition occurred with subtle but unmistakable clarity, as Amanda's professional description intersected with her visual identification of my presence at the family table. Her expression shifted from general enthusiasm about the marketing firm's success to specific recognition of the individual she had been describing, sitting directly across from her in what was clearly a family gathering context rather than a professional meeting environment. The cognitive processing of this unexpected convergence required several seconds as Amanda reconciled her detailed knowledge of my professional identity as Chief Executive Officer of Pinnacle Marketing Solutions with my presence at what she understood to be a family celebration hosted by Goldman Sachs colleagues. The intersection of professional and personal contexts created momentary confusion that was visible in her expression as she processed the implications of this surprising discovery. The conversation pause that followed Amanda's recognition created subtle tension among other guests who had been engaged in the professional discussion, but were now observing an interaction dynamic that seemed to carry significance beyond the general networking conversations that had characterized the gathering. The shift in Amanda's demeanor from general enthusiasm to specific recognition suggested a personal connection that had not been previously apparent to other attendees. Sarah noticed the change in conversation dynamics and inquired about Amanda's apparent recognition, asking whether she had previously met one of the family members in professional contexts that would explain the sudden shift in her engagement level. The question reflected natural curiosity about unexpected connections, while providing an opportunity for clarification that could resolve the apparent confusion in the social dynamics. Amanda's response represented the pivotal moment when professional worlds collided with family perceptions in ways that would fundamentally alter the social dynamics and challenge every assumption that had been maintained about achievement recognition and career success within family contexts. Her professional integrity required accurate representation of business relationships, while her social awareness demanded appropriate handling of what had become a delicate revelation situation. The anticipation building around Amanda's response created heightened attention among all guests as they awaited clarification of the recognition that had obviously occurred, but remained unexplained within the family gathering context. The convergence of professional and personal worlds was about to explode established assumptions and create transformational understanding of success, achievement, and family recognition that would resonate far beyond the immediate social gathering. Amanda. Richardson maintained her professional composure while processing the extraordinary circumstances that had brought her to this moment of recognition. Her years of corporate leadership and consulting experience had prepared her for managing complex situations, yet nothing had equipped her for the delicate balance required when professional relationships intersected unexpectedly with family dynamics in such a profound manner. The weight of responsibility she felt was evident as she considered how to respond to Sarah's inquiry about her apparent recognition of someone at the family gathering. The silence that followed Sarah's question created heightened anticipation among all guests who had been engaged in the professional discussion, but were now observing an interaction that clearly carried significance beyond general networking conversations. Amanda's deliberate pause reflected her careful consideration of the appropriate response to a situation that required both professional integrity and social sensitivity, while respecting the complex family dynamics that were about to be fundamentally altered. Amanda directed her attention toward me with unmistakable professional recognition, her expression conveying both surprise at the unexpected convergence of circumstances and genuine respect for the achievements she had been describing without knowing their personal relevance to the family gathering. Her voice carried the authoritative tone of someone accustomed to making important announcements in corporate settings as she prepared to bridge the gap between professional knowledge and family context. "Sarah, I need to clarify something that has just become apparent to me," Amanda began, her professional demeanor commanding attention from every guest at the table. "The marketing firm I have been describing, and particularly its chief executive, officer whose strategic leadership I have been praising, is sitting right here at your family table." She gestured toward me with unmistakable recognition and professional respect. "Victoria is the CEO of Pinnacle Marketing Solutions, the company I have been consulting with through Meridian Partners, and she is one of the most impressive business leaders I have had the privilege of working with in my consulting practice." The immediate impact of Amanda's statement created profound silence around the dinner table, as family members and guests processed information that fundamentally challenged every assumption they had maintained about my professional status and career achievements. The revelation represented more than simple misunderstanding correction. It exposed the complete disconnect between entrepreneurial success in business-to-business markets and family perception of professional accomplishment within traditional corporate frameworks. My parents' expressions reflected the cognitive dissonance that occurs when deeply held beliefs encounter contradictory evidence that cannot be easily dismissed or rationalized. Their understanding of my career situation had been based on years of conversations focused on business uncertainty and entrepreneurial challenges, rather than concrete achievements and industry recognition that had remained invisible to them due to the private nature of corporate consulting relationships. Sarah's reaction demonstrated the particular shock experienced by someone whose professional expertise in corporate finance should have enabled recognition of significant business achievement, yet who had remained entirely unaware of the magnitude of what had been accomplished by her own family member. Her Goldman Sachs background provided context for understanding the importance of Fortune 500 client relationships and private equity partnerships, making the revelation even more impactful for someone with sophisticated business knowledge. The Goldman Sachs colleagues present at the gathering possessed the professional background necessary to immediately comprehend the significance of Amanda's revelation and its implications for understanding entrepreneurial success in contemporary business environments. Their expertise in corporate finance and strategic advisory services enabled them to recognize the substantial achievement represented by building and leading a marketing firm, serving Fortune 500 clients through private equity partnership arrangements. Marcus Williams was the first to break the stunned silence that had followed Amanda's revelation, his voice carrying professional respect as he addressed me directly. "Victoria, I had no idea about your professional background and achievements. Based on Amanda's description of Pinnacle Marketing Solutions and your leadership role, you have built something truly remarkable in a highly competitive industry. The client relationships and growth trajectory she described represent exceptional entrepreneurial success that deserves recognition and respect. Jennifer Chang expressed similar professional acknowledgement, noting that her experience in asset management had provided exposure to numerous marketing services companies through investment analysis and due diligence activities. Her comments highlighted the rarity of firms that achieved sustained success, serving Fortune 500 clients, while maintaining operational independence and strategic flexibility that enabled innovative service delivery approaches. David Park contributed insights from his investment banking experience, emphasizing the sophisticated business development and strategic planning capabilities required for building client relationships with major corporations. His observations highlighted the management expertise and industry knowledge necessary for competing successfully against established marketing agencies, while delivering exceptional results that justified continued client investment and referral generation. The professional validation from Amanda and the Goldman Sachs colleagues created an atmosphere of recognition that had been absent from previous family gatherings, where my career achievements were discussed in general terms rather than specific accomplishments that could be evaluated by professionals with relevant expertise. The external confirmation of business success provided credibility that had been impossible to establish through family conversations alone. My mother's processing of this information was visible as she attempted to reconcile years of concern about my career stability with the revelation that I was leading a substantial business operation serving major corporate clients. Her questions reflected genuine interest in understanding how such significant professional achievement had remained unknown to family members who had maintained regular contact and expressed ongoing concern about career development and financial security. The explanation I provided focused on the nature of business-to-business marketing services and the private character of corporate consulting relationships that created natural barriers to external visibility and recognition. The complexity of explaining entrepreneurial success to family members who measured achievement through conventional corporate advancement had made it difficult to communicate the magnitude of what we had built without appearing defensive or dismissive of their legitimate concerns about career stability. My father's engineering background enabled him to appreciate the systematic planning and execution excellence required for building successful technology-based service operations. His questions addressed operational management, quality control, processes, and strategic planning methodologies that demonstrated his growing understanding of the business complexity and management sophistication required for our achievements. The conversation that followed Amanda's revelation provided opportunities for detailed discussion of specific client relationships, project achievements, and industry recognition that had been difficult to communicate effectively in previous family contexts. The presence of professionals who understood corporate marketing challenges and strategic consulting value enabled more meaningful dialogue about business accomplishments and their significance within the broader marketing services industry. Up next, you've got 2 more standout stories right on your screen. If this one hit the mark, you won't want to pass these up. Just click and check them out. And don't forget to subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss any upload from us.